Your thoughts shape your reality. And if you want to change your life, you must start by disciplining your thinking. Every decision you make, every action you take, begins with the thoughts in your mind. So how can you transform your life? By taking control of your thoughts and making them work for you instead of against you. It's not just about thinking positively. It's about making intentional choices in every moment. Are you tired of feeling stuck or unsure of where you're headed? It's time to stop letting your mind wander aimlessly. Imagine if you could train your mind to focus, to think strategically, and to make decisions that lead you to success. Today we're going to talk about how you can take control of your thoughts, build mental strength, and start shaping your future, one thought at a time. Stay with me, because this is the foundation of everything you want to achieve. Number 1, take control of every thought you allow daily. Discipline starts in the mind. It starts with the thoughts you allow to shape your life every single day. If you do not take control of your thinking, the world will do it for you. People will fill your mind with their doubts, their fears, and their limitations. The news will flood your brain with negativity. Social media will distract you with meaningless nonsense. If you do not decide what thoughts stay in your mind, you will end up living a life that is not even yours. That is why you must take full control of every thought you allow into your mind. Every day, thoughts come and go. Some are useful, some are destructive, and some are completely worthless. But here is the truth. Your mind is like a house, and you are the one standing at the door. You decide what gets in. You decide what stays. You decide what thoughts deserve your attention, and which ones need to be kicked out immediately. Most people do not even realize this. They go through life letting any thought take over their mind, never stopping to question if it is helping them or hurting them. They wonder why they feel anxious, why they feel unmotivated, why they cannot seem to get ahead, but they never take the time to check what kind of thoughts they are feeding themselves every single day. If you want to change your life, you must first change the way you think. The mind is powerful, but it needs direction. You cannot just hope for good thoughts to show up. You have to be intentional. You have to wake up every day with a commitment to take control. You need to train your mind like an athlete trains their body. You cannot expect strength without effort. You cannot expect discipline without practice. So how do you take control of every thought you allow daily? You start by making a decision that from this moment forward, you will not allow weak thoughts to run your life. The first step is to become aware of what is going on in your mind. Most people do not even pay attention to their own thinking. Their mind is on autopilot. They wake up, and their thoughts immediately start racing. They are already thinking about problems, about what went wrong yesterday, about what might go wrong today. They do not even question it. They just let it happen. And that is the mistake. Your mind is not in charge. You are. You must be the one to step in and say, "No, I will not let these thoughts take over my day." You must stop and observe. What am I thinking about right now? Is this thought helping me, or is it hurting me? Is this thought moving me forward, or is it keeping me stuck? The moment you ask these questions, you take back control. Once you are aware of your thoughts, you need to filter them. You cannot allow just anything to stay in your mind. If a thought is making you feel weak, if it is making you doubt yourself, if it is making you afraid to take action, it does not belong there. You must reject it. You must replace it. If a thought is empowering, if it gives you energy, if it pushes you to take action, then you keep it. This is how discipline works. It is not just about avoiding the bad. It is about choosing the good. It is about deliberately feeding your mind with thoughts that make you stronger. This is why what you expose yourself to every day matters. You cannot fill your mind with negativity all day and expect to have a positive life. If you are always listening to people complain, if you are always consuming content that makes you angry, if you are always surrounding yourself with doubt, your mind will reflect that. If you want to take control of your thoughts, you must be strict about what you allow in. Read books that challenge you. Listen to people who inspire you. Fill your mind with knowledge, with wisdom, with ideas that push you to be better. If you do not do this, your mind will become weak, and a weak mind will lead to a weak life. But here is where most people struggle. They try to control their thoughts for a day or two, but then they go right back to their old patterns. They wonder why nothing is changing. The answer is simple. Discipline is not a one-time effort. It is not something you do once and forget about. It is something you practice every single day. The same way you train your body, you must train your mind. You must wake up every morning and remind yourself, today I choose my thoughts. Today I decide what gets my attention. Today I refuse to let negativity control me. This is not easy. It requires work. It requires consistency. But the reward is worth it, because when you control your thoughts, you control your actions. When you control your actions, you control your habits. And when you control your habits, you control your entire life. People talk about success, about discipline, about motivation, but they forget that it all starts in the mind. You cannot be disciplined in your actions if you are not disciplined in your thinking. You cannot expect to live a strong life with a weak mind. Some of you might be thinking, but I can't help the way I think. That is not true. You have control. You have the power to choose. You have the ability to change. It will not happen overnight, but if you make the decision today to discipline your thinking, your life will change. Maybe not in a week, maybe not in a month, but over time, you will see the difference. You will notice that you no longer waste time on pointless worries. You will find that you are more focused, more driven, more in control, and that is what real success is. Not just having more money, not just achieving goals, but having the power to master your own mind. Some of you might say, but negative thoughts just come to me. Yes, they do, but just because a thought appears does not mean you have to accept it. Thoughts are like visitors knocking on your door. You do not have to let every visitor inside your house. You have the right to say, no, you are not welcome here. A negative thought shows up. Reject it. A self-doubt creeps in. Shut it down. A fear tries to take over. Replace it with courage. This is what discipline looks like in real life. It is not about waiting for the perfect mindset to magically appear. It is about training your mind, just like you would train your body, every single day. You must remind yourself that your mind is a tool. It is there to serve you, not to control you. If you do not take control of it, it will control you. And if you let your mind control you, life will become difficult. You will be ruled by fear. You will hesitate when you should take action. You will waste time worrying instead of doing. And you will never reach your full potential. That is why you must step in now and take charge. This is the moment to make a decision. Not tomorrow, not next week. Right now, you decide today that you will no longer let weak thoughts dictate your life. You decide that every morning you will choose strength over fear. You decide that you will only entertain thoughts that build you up, thoughts that make you better, thoughts that push you toward your goals. You have the power. You always have. Now it is time to use it. Discipline your thinking, and everything in your life will change. Number 2, destroy negative thinking before it weakens your mind. Negative thinking is the silent enemy that weakens your mind before you even realize it. It does not show up loudly. It creeps in, little by little, until one day you wake up feeling drained, unmotivated, and unsure of yourself. You hesitate to take action. You second-guess your decisions, and you start believing that success is out of reach. This is how negative thinking works. It attacks from the inside, breaking you down slowly until you accept failure as your reality. That is why you must destroy it before it takes control. The first step is to recognize that negative thinking is not natural. It is not something you are born with. It is something you have been conditioned to accept over time. Maybe it came from past failures. Maybe it came from people who doubted you. Maybe it came from comparing yourself to others. But no matter where it started, it does not belong in your mind. You were not designed to live in fear, doubt, or self-pity. You were built to be strong, to think clearly, and to move forward with confidence. But that will never happen if you let negative thoughts poison your mind. Negative thinking is not just about being pessimistic. It is about the way you see yourself, the way you approach challenges, and the way you interpret the world. It makes small problems seem massive. It convinces you that setbacks are permanent. It makes you believe that you are not capable, not talented, not good enough. And if you do not fight back, those thoughts will become your reality. That is how powerful your mind is. Whatever you feed it, it accepts. Whatever you focus on, it magnifies. If you fill it with doubt, you will hesitate. If you fill it with excuses, you will stay stuck. If you let negativity take root, it will spread. And soon, you will be living a life that feels heavy, exhausting, and out of control. The key is to attack negative thoughts the moment they appear. Do not let them sit in your mind. Do not entertain them. Do not allow them to settle. The second a negative thought enters your mind, you must shut it down. You must challenge it. You must replace it with something stronger. If you think, I cannot do this, you must immediately say, yes, I can. If you think, I am not good enough, you must replace it with, I have everything I need to succeed. This is not about lying to yourself. It is about reprogramming your mind to see reality as it is, not through the lens of fear, but through the lens of truth. Negative thinking thrives on repetition. The more you let a negative thought repeat itself, the stronger it becomes. That is why so many people struggle with self-doubt. They have been telling themselves the same limiting beliefs for years. I will never succeed. Things never work out for me. I am not smart enough. These thoughts have been repeated so often that they feel real. But they are not real. They are just stories you have told yourself. And just as you created them, you can destroy them. You must take control of what you allow into your mind. Stop feeding yourself negativity. Stop listening to people who drain your energy. Stop watching content that fills your mind with fear, doubt, and distractions. What you consume mentally is just as important as what you consume physically. You would not eat poison and expect to stay healthy. So why would you allow toxic thoughts to stay in your mind and expect to feel strong? Destruction requires action. You do not get rid of negative thinking by simply ignoring it. You must actively replace it. You must flood your mind with positivity, strength, and confidence. Every morning you must remind yourself of your potential. Every night, you must reflect on what went right, not just what went wrong. You must create an environment in your mind where negativity cannot survive. This is not easy, but it is necessary. Because if you do not destroy negative thinking, it will destroy you. Fear is one of the biggest drivers of negativity. It makes you hesitate. It keeps you stuck in cycles of overthinking. It convinces you that taking action is too risky. But what is the real risk? Living a life ruled by fear, waking up every day feeling powerless, letting your dreams slip away because you were too afraid to try. That is the real danger. The truth is, most of the things you fear will never even happen. Your mind creates worst-case scenarios that are not real. And yet people let those fears control them. They let them dictate their choices, but not you. You cannot afford to let fear drive your decisions. You must recognize it for what it is. Just another trick of negative thinking. And once you see it clearly, you can destroy it before it controls you. You must also understand that setbacks do not define you. Negative thinking thrives on past failures. It reminds you of every mistake, every loss, every disappointment. It tries to convince you that the past will repeat itself. But that is not the truth. Just because you failed before does not mean you will fail again. Just because things did not work out once does not mean they never will. The only thing standing between you and your next victory is your mindset. If you let negative thoughts take over, you will hesitate. You will play small. You will give up before you even begin. But if you destroy those thoughts, if you replace them with determination and belief, there is no limit to what you can achieve. Negativity is a habit, and like any habit, it can be broken. But you must commit to the process. You must be relentless in your efforts. The world is already filled with negativity. You do not need to add more to your own mind. You must make a decision that from this moment forward you will not entertain negative thinking. You will not allow doubt to take root. You will not let fear hold you back. Every time a negative thought tries to enter your mind, you will replace it with strength. Every time doubt tries to creep in, you will remind yourself of your power. Every time fear tries to control you, you will act in spite of it. Your mind is your most powerful weapon, but only if you use it correctly. Only if you take control. Only if you refuse to let negativity weaken you. Every great achievement starts with a strong mind. Every success story begins with the ability to think clearly, to push past doubt, to act with confidence. And that is exactly what you must do. From this moment forward, you commit to mental discipline. You commit to choosing strength over weakness, confidence over doubt, action over hesitation. You commit to destroying every negative thought before it has a chance to weaken your mind. You do not wait. You do not hesitate. You do not give it a second chance, because your future depends on what you allow into your mind today. And you refuse to let negativity steal your potential. This is your moment to take back control. No more excuses. No more doubts. No more waiting for the perfect time. The time is now. Destroy negative thinking and watch how your entire life transforms. Number 3, feed your mind only powerful and productive ideas. Your mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant in it will grow. If you feed it weak and useless thoughts, it will produce nothing of value. If you allow distractions and meaningless information to take up space, your mind will become cluttered and unfocused. But if you choose to fill it with powerful and productive ideas, it will transform your life. Every action, every decision, every success starts with a single thought, and the quality of your thinking determines the quality of your life. If you want to see real progress, you must take control of what you feed your mind every single day. The world is full of noise. Every time you open your phone, turn on the TV, or scroll through social media, you are feeding your mind something. The question is, what are you consuming? Is it making you stronger, sharper, and more productive? Or is it wasting your energy, distracting you, and keeping you stuck? Most people never stop to ask themselves this question. They allow anything and everything to enter their minds without realizing the damage it causes. They fill their day with useless opinions, negative news, and shallow entertainment, then wonder why they feel unmotivated and stuck. Your mind cannot produce greatness if it is constantly being fed junk. If you want to take control of your future, you must first take control of what you allow into your mind. Powerful ideas do not appear out of nowhere. They must be cultivated. They must be intentionally sought after and absorbed. This means you must be selective. You cannot afford to waste your mental energy on meaningless distractions. You must choose to expose yourself to information that sharpens your thinking, expands your vision, and strengthens your mindset. Read books that challenge you. Listen to people who inspire and educate you. Surround yourself with those who push you to think bigger. Every single day you must feed your mind with ideas that make you better. Because if you do not, the world will feed it for you. And most of what the world offers is designed to keep you weak, passive, and distracted. It is not enough to simply avoid negativity. You must actively seek out and consume powerful ideas. You must train your mind to think strategically, to solve problems, to create solutions. Your brain is capable of extraordinary things, but only if you use it correctly. If you let it sit idle, if you allow it to be filled with nonsense, it will atrophy like an unused muscle. But if you challenge it, if you fill it with productive thoughts, it will grow stronger, faster, and more creative. The difference between those who achieve great things and those who stay stuck is not talent. It is the quality of their thinking. Those who succeed have trained themselves to think differently. They do not entertain weak thoughts. They do not waste time on trivial things. They are obsessed with ideas that move them forward. You must develop an obsession with learning. Every day should be an opportunity to feed your mind something valuable. Learn from history. Study the habits of high achievers. Absorb strategies that increase your efficiency. Seek out knowledge that gives you an edge. The most successful people in the world are not the ones with the most resources. They are the ones with the best ideas. They have trained their minds to think at a higher level, and you can do the same, but only if you are willing to be disciplined about what you allow into your mind. The people you surround yourself with play a huge role in this. If you spend your time with individuals who have no ambition, no discipline, and no vision, their way of thinking will rub off on you. Their weak mentality will become your mentality. Their small thinking will shrink your own. But if you surround yourself with people who are driven, focused, and constantly improving, your own mind will adapt. You will start to think differently. You will start to expect more from yourself. You will start to see possibilities where others see limitations. Your environment shapes your thinking, and your thinking shapes your future. If you want to feed your mind powerful and productive ideas, you must also eliminate anything that weakens your focus. This means cutting out time-wasting habits. This means being intentional about how you spend your hours. If you are spending more time consuming entertainment than consuming knowledge, you are feeding your mind the wrong things. If you are letting hours slip away without learning something valuable, you are missing opportunities to grow. You do not have unlimited time. Every day you waste is a day you will never get back. If you are serious about improving your life, you must stop treating your mind like a garbage can. You must fill it with ideas that matter. Productive thinking is not just about knowledge, it is about application. It is about using what you learn to improve your actions. Too many people consume information, but never apply it. They read books, but never change their behavior. They listen to advice, but never take action. Knowledge without execution is useless. If you want to truly feed your mind with powerful ideas, you must put them to work. Every time you learn something valuable, ask yourself, how can I use this? How can this idea improve my life? How can I implement this immediately? Powerful thoughts mean nothing if they do not lead to powerful action. Another important factor is the language you use with yourself. Your thoughts create your reality. If you constantly tell yourself you are not good enough, not smart enough, or not capable, your mind will accept that as truth. But if you train yourself to think in terms of solutions, possibilities, and progress, your mind will adjust. Instead of saying, I can't do this, say, how can I figure this out? Instead of saying, I'm not good at this, say, I am getting better every day. Instead of saying, this is too hard, say, this challenge is making me stronger. The way you talk to yourself determines the way you think, and the way you think determines what you achieve. If you want to see massive changes in your life, start by making massive changes in your thinking. Be ruthless about what you allow into your mind. Stop entertaining weak and useless ideas. Stop letting distractions consume your focus. Stop wasting your time on things that do not make you stronger. Every single day you have a choice. You can feed your mind ideas that empower you, or you can let the world fill it with noise that keeps you average. Your mind is your greatest asset. It is the tool that will either build your success or destroy your potential. If you take care of it, if you feed it the right things, if you sharpen it every day, there is no limit to what you can achieve. But if you neglect it, if you let it be controlled by negativity and distractions, you will never reach your full potential. This is the difference between those who live extraordinary lives and those who stay stuck. It is not luck. It is not chance. It is discipline. It is the commitment to feeding their minds only with thoughts, ideas, and strategies that move them forward. Now is the time to take control. Now is the time to make the decision that from this day forward, you will no longer allow weak thinking to control your life. You will not waste another day feeding your mind useless information. You will not let negativity take root. You will not settle for anything less than the best version of yourself. From this moment on, every thought you allow into your mind will be a thought that strengthens you. Every idea you consume will be one that helps you grow. Every piece of knowledge you absorb will be put to work, because you are not here to live an average life. You are here to build something great. And that starts with the way you think. Number 4, eliminate weak thoughts that hold you back forever. Your mind is the battlefield where your future is decided. Every thought you entertain is either pushing you forward or dragging you down. Weak thoughts are the invisible chains that keep you trapped in mediocrity, making you doubt yourself, hesitate, and settle for less than you deserve. They whisper lies, convincing you that you are not good enough, that success is out of reach, that you should stay where it is safe. If you allow these thoughts to linger, they will shape your reality. They will sabotage your progress, drain your energy, and keep you stuck in the same place year after year. But the moment you eliminate them, the moment you decide to break free from this mental prison, your entire life will change. Weak thoughts do not disappear on their own. They must be confronted, challenged, and destroyed. They have been ingrained in your mind through years of conditioning, through failures, disappointments, and the influence of people who never dared to chase greatness. They have become a habit, a pattern of thinking that plays on repeat, convincing you that you cannot do more, be more, achieve more. But just as these thoughts were planted, they can be removed. You are not obligated to believe everything your mind tells you. You have the power to rewire your thinking, to replace self-doubt with confidence, to erase fear with action, to shut down hesitation with relentless execution. The moment you decide to stop tolerating weak thoughts, you begin to reclaim control over your mind and your future. Every time you entertain a thought, you are making a choice. You are either reinforcing weakness or building strength. If you allow yourself to dwell on negativity, failure, and fear, those thoughts will shape your actions. You will hesitate when you should move. You will avoid challenges when you should face them. You will settle when you should push forward. The mind believes what you repeatedly tell it. If you feed it weakness, it will make you weak. If you feed it power, it will make you unstoppable. The choice is yours. Weak thoughts disguise themselves as rational concerns, logical fears, and careful hesitation. But in reality, they are nothing more than excuses. They are the voice that tells you to wait until you are ready, to avoid risks, to play it safe. They trick you into believing that fear is a sign to stop, rather than a signal to push through. They convince you that failure is the end rather than a stepping stone. But the truth is, the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the way you think. Eliminate the thoughts that keep you stuck, and you will eliminate the barriers that hold you back. You must become ruthless with your mental discipline. You cannot afford to entertain thoughts that do not serve you. Every time a weak thought enters your mind, you must shut it down immediately. Do not give it space to grow. Do not allow it to take root. The moment doubt creeps in, replace it with certainty. When fear arises, respond with action. When negativity appears, override it with a stronger, more empowering belief. Your mind is like a muscle. Train it to be strong, and it will serve you. Let it become weak, and it will control you. Weak thoughts thrive in a weak environment. If you constantly surround yourself with negativity, drama, and people who have no ambition, your mind will reflect that. If you consume media that feeds fear, if you engage in conversations that reinforce doubt, if you spend time with people who complain and make excuses, your thinking will follow the same pattern. But if you immerse yourself in an environment of strength, ambition, and discipline, your thoughts will transform. Surround yourself with individuals who push you to be better. Feed your mind with knowledge that strengthens you. Create a daily routine that reinforces powerful thinking. The stronger your environment, the stronger your mind becomes. One of the fastest ways to eliminate weak thoughts is through action. Fear, doubt, and hesitation cannot survive when you are in motion. The longer you wait, the more power your thoughts have over you. The more you hesitate, the stronger your doubts become. But when you take action, even before you feel ready, you prove to yourself that your thoughts do not control you. You break the cycle of overthinking and step into a mindset of execution. Every time you act, despite your fears, you weaken the grip of self-doubt. Every time you push forward, even when you are uncertain, you build mental strength. You train yourself to think in terms of possibilities rather than limitations. Rewriting your mental script is not a one-time event. It is a daily practice. Every morning, you must decide what kind of mindset you will operate from. Will you allow weak thoughts to dictate your actions, or will you take control? Will you entertain excuses, or will you demand more from yourself? The mind, left unchecked, will default to what is easy, what is comfortable, what is familiar. But easy does not lead to greatness. Comfortable does not lead to growth. Familiar does not lead to transformation. You must consciously choose to think in a way that aligns with the person you want to become. Start by identifying the thoughts that have been holding you back. Pay attention to the patterns of self-doubt, hesitation, and fear that play in your mind. Are you telling yourself that you are not good enough, that you do not have what it takes, that success is only for others? These are not truths. These are beliefs that have been programmed into your mind over time. And just as they were created, they can be destroyed. Challenge them, question them, replace them with thoughts that empower you. Instead of saying, "I am not ready," say, "I will figure it out." Instead of thinking, "I might fail," say, "Failure is a stepping stone." Instead of believing, "I am not good enough," remind yourself, "I am improving every day." The words you speak to yourself shape your reality. Choose them wisely. Your life will only change when you demand more from yourself, when you refuse to tolerate weak thoughts, when you stop making excuses, when you take control of your mind and reprogram it for success. There is no external force holding you back. There is no invisible barrier standing in your way. The only thing keeping you from your full potential is the story you keep telling yourself. Change the story, and you change your future. You must commit to eliminating weak thoughts permanently. This is not a temporary shift. This is not something you do once and forget. This is a lifelong discipline. Every day you must train your mind to operate at a higher level. Every moment, you must guard your thoughts like a warrior, protecting his territory. You cannot afford to let negativity, fear, or hesitation control your actions. You cannot afford to let weakness dictate your destiny. You must take full responsibility for the way you think and refuse to accept anything less than mental strength. Weak thoughts will try to return. They will creep in when you face setbacks. They will whisper in your ear when you experience failure. They will tempt you to go back to your old ways. But you must stand firm. You must remind yourself that you have already chosen a different path. You have decided to operate from strength, not weakness. You have committed to thinking like a winner, not a victim. Every time a weak thought tries to take hold, crush it with action. Overwhelm it with certainty. Drown it in discipline. The mind is a tool. It will either be your greatest asset or your greatest enemy. The difference is how you use it. Train it to work for you, and it will open doors you never imagined. Let it control you, and it will keep you locked in the same place forever. But now you know the truth. Now you understand that you are not a prisoner of your thoughts. You are the master of them. You have the power to eliminate weak thinking forever. You have the ability to create a mindset that makes you unstoppable. And once you do that, there is nothing in this world that can hold you back. Number 5, turn every strong thought into immediate, bold action. Your thoughts alone will never change your life. No matter how powerful, inspiring, or revolutionary they may seem, they are worthless without immediate execution. The moment a strong thought enters your mind, it is your responsibility to bring it to life through action. The longer you wait, the weaker it becomes. The hesitation that follows is the breeding ground for doubt, excuses, and fear. You must move before your mind convinces you otherwise. You must train yourself to act before resistance has the chance to take hold. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who remain stuck in mediocrity is not intelligence, luck, or talent. It is the ability to turn strong thoughts into immediate, decisive action. Every second you wait, you lose momentum. Every moment of hesitation is an opportunity for fear to creep in and convince you to stay where it is safe. The mind loves comfort. It will always try to pull you back into what is familiar, into what requires no effort, no risk, no uncertainty. But strong thoughts are meant to disrupt that comfort. They are meant to push you forward, to force you to grow, to demand more from you. The only way to honor them is to act on them immediately. Do not overthink. Do not analyze. Do not seek validation. Just move. The moment a powerful idea strikes you, take the first step, even if it is small, even if it feels insignificant. That step is the difference between progress and stagnation. The most successful people in the world have mastered the art of immediate execution. They do not waste time debating whether they should act. They already know that action is the only option. They understand that waiting is a trap, that hesitation is the enemy, that the longer they sit on an idea, the less likely it is to ever see the light of day. They do not wait until they feel ready, because they know that readiness is an illusion. If you wait until everything is perfect, you will never begin. If you wait for certainty, you will never take the leap. The only way to build confidence, to develop skill, to create success, is through action. Bold action does not require perfection. It does not require all the answers. It does not require permission. It only requires movement. Too many people waste their lives preparing, planning, and waiting for the right moment. They convince themselves that they need more time, more knowledge, more experience. But in reality, they are just afraid. They are afraid of failing, afraid of making mistakes, afraid of stepping into the unknown, and so they do nothing. They sit on their ideas until they decay. They dream of a future they will never create. They talk about what they want, but they never move toward it. You must refuse to be one of them. You must refuse to let hesitation rob you of your potential. Strong thoughts are gifts. They are flashes of insight, moments of clarity, signals from your subconscious mind, pointing you in the right direction. But they have an expiration date. If you do not act on them quickly, they fade away. They lose their power. They become just another idea that could have been something great, but never was. Do not allow that to happen. When inspiration strikes, grab hold of it and do something with it. Write it down. Make a call. Take the first step. Do whatever you must to transform thought into movement. The faster you act, the stronger the momentum you build. The stronger the momentum, the harder it becomes to stop you. Action is the cure for fear. It is the antidote to self-doubt, the solution to overthinking, the destroyer of hesitation. The more you act, the more unstoppable you become. The more you execute, the more you rewire your brain to operate from a place of boldness rather than weakness. Every time you take immediate action, you reinforce the belief that you are capable. You prove to yourself that you are not controlled by fear, that you are not a prisoner of hesitation, that you have the power to shape your reality. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. Bold action is a habit. It is a muscle that must be exercised daily. The more you train yourself to move without hesitation, the more natural it becomes. Soon you will reach a point where action is your default state, where waiting is no longer an option, where hesitation is something you have eliminated from your life completely. The greatest ideas in the world are worthless without execution. The most brilliant minds are wasted if they do not act. Success is not about who has the best thoughts. It is about who moves the fastest, who takes the most action, who refuses to let a single idea go to waste. If you are serious about changing your life, you must adopt this mindset. You must become the type of person who acts first and figures out the details later. You must train yourself to move before doubt has the chance to stop you. You must build the habit of executing every strong thought with immediate, bold action. Do not give yourself time to negotiate with your mind. Do not give fear a chance to take over. The moment you think of something powerful, take action. If you have an idea for a business, start researching immediately. If you feel the urge to get in shape, do one push-up right now. If you want to improve your life, make a change today, not tomorrow, not next week, now. Action is always within your control. No matter how small, no matter how insignificant it seems, every step forward is a step closer to the life you want. Waiting is a disease. It infects the mind, paralyzes ambition, and destroys potential. Every time you hesitate, you strengthen the habit of inaction. You reinforce the belief that you are not ready, that you cannot do it, that you are not capable. But the opposite is also true. Every time you act, you strengthen the habit of execution. You build confidence. You develop the identity of someone who moves, who does not wait, who takes control. This is the mindset of winners. This is the mindset of those who make things happen. The world does not reward those who think. It rewards those who do. No one remembers the person who had a great idea, but never acted on it. No one talks about the one who had potential, but never used it. The only people who succeed are those who execute, those who take their strong thoughts and turn them into bold action before the moment passes. If you want to be one of them, you must stop waiting. You must stop thinking. You must stop hesitating. You must start moving. Right now, in this very moment, you have thoughts that could change your life, ideas that could transform your future, a vision of what you want to create, who you want to become, what you want to achieve. But none of it will happen unless you take action. None of it will become real unless you decide, right now, that you will not waste another second. Move. Do not let another day pass without executing on your strongest thoughts. Do not allow hesitation to steal your potential. Do not give fear the chance to talk you out of it. The life you want is waiting for you. The only thing standing between you and that life is action. Bold, immediate, relentless action. Make the decision. Take the step. Do it now. Number 6. Train your mind to stay focused under any pressure. Focus is the ultimate weapon. The ability to lock in on a goal, block out distractions, and remain unshaken under any circumstances is what separates those who rise from those who fall. Most people crack under pressure. Their minds scatter, their emotions take control, and they become paralyzed by fear, doubt, and anxiety. But the ones who train their minds to stay focused in chaos, those are the ones who win. It's not about talent, intelligence, or luck. It's about mental control. The ability to stay centered, no matter how intense the storm becomes. Pressure is inevitable. Challenges will come. Stress will attempt to break you. But the strongest individuals are not those who avoid pressure. They are the ones who thrive in it. They are the ones who sharpen their minds to remain unshaken, composed, and in control. They don't allow their emotions to dictate their actions. They don't let distractions steal their attention. They don't crumble when things don't go as planned. Instead, they adapt. They stay locked in. They focus on what needs to be done, and they execute. The mind will always try to run. The moment pressure builds, the mind will look for an escape, distractions, entertainment, mindless scrolling, anything to avoid facing the challenge. But this is where the weak separate from the strong. The strong recognize this tendency and override it. They refuse to let external chaos dictate their internal state. They have trained themselves to stay locked in no matter what. This is a skill that must be built daily. Just like a muscle, focus strengthens the more you train it. If you let your mind wander every time things get difficult, you will never build the discipline to stay sharp under pressure. But if you commit to strengthening your ability to stay focused, nothing will be able to break you. You must control your mind before it controls you. Every time pressure hits, you have a choice. Let it shake you or use it to sharpen you. Weak minds react, strong minds respond. Weak minds panic, strong minds analyze. Weak minds get overwhelmed, strong minds stay locked in. The more you expose yourself to challenges without breaking, the more resilient you become. The more you train your focus in difficult situations, the more unshakable you get. This is how mental toughness is built. Not in comfort, not in ease, but in the fire of adversity. To build unbreakable focus, you must eliminate everything that weakens your attention. Cut out distractions. Remove unnecessary noise. Stop feeding your mind with things that don't serve you. Every second you waste on mindless distractions is a second you steal from your future. You must be ruthless with your focus. Guard it, protect it, treat it as the most valuable asset you own, because it is. The world is designed to scatter your attention, to keep you distracted, to flood your mind with meaningless information. If you are not intentional about protecting your focus, it will be stolen from you. And once you lose control of your focus, you lose control of your life. Training your mind to stay focused under pressure is not about eliminating stress. It's about mastering your response to it. The strongest minds don't avoid difficulty. They face it head on. They step into the fire without hesitation. They train themselves to remain steady, calm, and composed, no matter what is happening around them. This is what makes them unstoppable. They are not ruled by fear, not swayed by emotions, not distracted by things that don't matter. They see the chaos, but they don't let it enter their minds. They feel the pressure, but they don't let it break them. They are locked in, no matter what. Your focus is your power. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. The stronger it becomes, the less anything can shake you. Most people live in a constant state of distraction. They jump from one thought to another, from one task to another, never fully engaged, never fully present. This is why they never achieve anything significant. They lack depth, they lack intensity, they lack the ability to give their full attention to anything. And without full attention, mastery is impossible. Success is impossible. Greatness is impossible. Every day is an opportunity to train your mind. Every challenge is a test. Every moment of pressure is a chance to sharpen your focus. Do not waste it. Do not let your mind wander. Do not allow yourself to be pulled in 1,000 directions. Stay locked in. Train your mind to resist distractions. Condition yourself to stay composed under pressure. This is how you become unstoppable. This is how you separate yourself from the weak. This is how you build a mind that nothing and no one can break. When stress hits, slow down your thoughts, breathe, recenter yourself. Do not react, respond. Remind yourself that pressure is nothing more than a test of your focus. Stay present. Keep your mind where it needs to be. Train yourself to see pressure as fuel, as an opportunity to get sharper, stronger, better. The ones who crumble under stress are the ones who never trained for it. But those who prepare, those who build the habit of staying locked in under pressure, they are the ones who win. They are the ones who control their destiny. Your ability to focus in the middle of chaos is what determines your success. Weak minds get overwhelmed, break down, give up. Strong minds get sharper, more determined, more relentless. The choice is yours. You either train your focus, or you let the world break it. You either take control of your mind, or you let pressure control you. The strongest minds are not born, they are built. They are built through discipline, through intentional training, through the daily habit of staying locked in when others fall apart. This is your path to greatness. Stay focused, stay unshakable, stay in control. Number 7, build a mental routine that keeps you unstoppable. Mental strength is not something you are born with. It is something you build, refine, and reinforce every single day. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who stay stuck is not luck, not intelligence, not talent. It is the mental routines they commit to. Your mind is either trained for resilience, discipline, and execution, or it is conditioned for weakness, hesitation, and excuses. If you don't control the way you think, the world will do it for you. If you don't take charge of your mindset, distractions, negativity, and self-doubt will take over. The only way to become unstoppable is to develop a mental framework so strong that nothing can shake you. Your mind is the command center of your life. Every thought, every decision, every action begins there. If you fail to train it, you leave your success up to chance. But if you create a daily mental routine that strengthens your focus, discipline, and resilience, you gain an unfair advantage. You no longer rely on motivation. You no longer depend on fleeting bursts of inspiration. You build an internal system that keeps you sharp, driven, and relentless no matter what. Most people live their lives reacting to the world around them. They wake up without a plan, without intention, without a strategy to keep them on track. They drift through their days, constantly pulled in different directions, easily swayed by distractions and emotions. They wonder why they never achieve what they want, why they feel lost, why they struggle to stay consistent. The answer is simple. They have no mental routine. They rely on willpower instead of systems. They wait for motivation instead of building habits. They allow circumstances to dictate their mindset instead of taking full control of their thoughts. The most powerful individuals do not wake up and hope for success. They do not let their emotions decide their actions. They follow a structured mental framework that ensures they stay on track, no matter what happens. They have trained their minds to operate at a high level automatically. It is not something they think about, it is something they live by. And this is the difference between winners and everyone else. Winners do not trust their emotions. They do not wait for the right moment. They create routines that make success inevitable. They program their minds to execute, no matter what. A powerful mental routine is built on discipline, clarity, and intentional action. It begins the moment you wake up. Your first thoughts set the tone for the entire day. If you start your morning in a state of hesitation, distraction, or negativity, you have already lost. The mind must be conditioned from the moment you open your eyes. Instead of letting random thoughts flood your brain, you take control. You program yourself for strength, focus, and execution. You remind yourself of your goals. You visualize yourself succeeding. You reinforce your identity as someone who is disciplined, relentless, and unstoppable. There is no room for doubt, no space for hesitation, no allowance for excuses. Your mind is locked in, your actions are intentional. Your focus is unbreakable. The next part of your mental routine is controlling what you consume. Every thought, every piece of information, every conversation you engage in either strengthens or weakens your mindset. Most people poison their minds without realizing it. They start their day by consuming negative news, scrolling through meaningless content, or engaging in conversations that drain their energy. They allow their minds to be influenced by outside noise, instead of taking charge of what enters their consciousness. The strong, however, are ruthless about what they allow into their minds. They do not waste mental energy on things that do not serve them. They consume only what fuels their growth, sharpens their perspective, and reinforces their mission. Your mental routine must also include a moment of silence, a time where you disconnect from the noise, reset your thoughts, and realign with your goals. The world is filled with distractions. Every second, something is competing for your attention. If you are not careful, your mind will be pulled in 100 directions, leaving you scattered and unfocused. But if you intentionally create time to think, to plan, to reset, you gain an edge over everyone else. You separate yourself from those who are always reacting, always distracted, always unfocused. You gain clarity. You stay centered. You move with precision instead of randomness. Another crucial part of your mental routine is reaffirming your standards. Every day you must remind yourself who you are, what you stand for, and what is expected of you. Most people allow their standards to slip because they do not reinforce them daily. They start strong but fade over time. They make commitments but break them when things get tough. They say they want success, but do not hold themselves accountable to the actions required to achieve it. The strongest individuals do not operate this way. They set their standards high and they enforce them ruthlessly. They do not allow excuses, laziness, or distractions to lower the bar. They hold themselves to a level that most people are unwilling to reach. And because they do this daily, their success is inevitable. You must also train your mind to push through resistance. There will be days when you don't feel like showing up. Days when your energy is low. Days when the temptation to slack off is strong. But this is where mental conditioning separates the strong from the weak. The weak give in to how they feel. The strong execute regardless. The weak wait for motivation. The strong act on discipline. The weak break under pressure. The strong get sharper under pressure. This is why a mental routine is so powerful. It eliminates the need for willpower. It removes the option of quitting. It ensures that no matter how you feel, no matter what challenges arise, you keep moving forward. Finally, your mental routine must include reflection. At the end of each day, you must evaluate your actions. Did you stay locked in? Did you execute at the highest level? Did you uphold your standards? Or did you let distractions, emotions, and excuses dictate your behavior? Most people never ask themselves these questions. They go through their days without awareness, without accountability, without adjustment. They repeat the same mistakes over and over again, wondering why they never improve. But those who are relentless in their growth take time to analyze their progress. They identify weaknesses, adjust their strategies, and refine their approach. They do not allow failure to go unnoticed. They do not repeat the same errors. They learn, adapt, and get better every single day. An unstoppable mind is not built in a day. It is built through consistent, intentional, disciplined action. If you do not have a mental routine, you are leaving your success up to chance. You are operating without a strategy, without control, without direction. And in a world filled with distractions, that is a guaranteed way to fail. But if you take charge of your mind, if you implement a daily system that reinforces focus, discipline, and execution, you will become a force that nothing can stop. You will not need motivation. You will not need external validation. You will not be swayed by distractions or obstacles. You will move with power, with purpose, with an unstoppable force that no challenge can break. Your mind is your greatest weapon. Train it, strengthen it, condition it to operate at a level that most people cannot reach. Build a mental routine that makes success inevitable. And once you do, there will be no stopping you. Number 8, stop wasting energy overthinking and start making decisions. Overthinking is the silent killer of progress. It's the mental trap that keeps you stuck in endless cycles of doubt, fear, and hesitation. It is the enemy of decisive action, and it drains your mental and emotional energy like a leaky faucet. The problem is, we live in a world that makes overthinking feel almost inevitable. We're constantly bombarded with information, opinions, and options. We're taught to analyze, plan, and rethink every decision. But what most people fail to realize is that while they're trapped in analysis paralysis, they are missing out on opportunities, losing momentum, and wasting precious time that could have been spent taking action. Every decision, no matter how big or small, has the potential to shape your future. But the longer you delay that decision, the longer you delay your progress. If you spend all your time thinking about what could go wrong, you'll never experience the power of what could go right. If you wait until everything is perfect before making a choice, you'll never make a choice at all. The truth is, the longer you think, the more you get stuck in your own head. Your thoughts become tangled, and instead of finding clarity, you create confusion. The more you overthink, the more you feed your fears, doubts, and uncertainties, turning them into monsters that appear insurmountable. Overthinking paralyzes you from acting, and as time passes, you begin to feel weaker, less confident, and less capable. There is a simple yet profound truth. Your mind is designed to make decisions, not to dwell on them forever. If you want to achieve your goals, you must learn to make decisions quickly and act decisively. But to do this, you must first break free from the shackles of overthinking. You must learn how to control your thoughts, simplify your process, and trust yourself to make the right choices in the moment. The first step in stopping the cycle of overthinking is recognizing that it's happening. Most people are completely unaware that they're overthinking. They think they're just being careful, but in reality they're procrastinating, hiding behind the illusion of caution. Overthinking isn't about being thoughtful or cautious. It's about being stuck in a mental loop that prevents you from moving forward. It's not the sign of a responsible thinker, but rather the sign of someone who is afraid to take action. Once you recognize that you're overthinking, you can begin to break free from its grip. The next step is simplifying the decision-making process. Most people overthink because they make things more complicated than they need to be. They weigh every possible outcome, imagine every worst-case scenario, and run through countless what-ifs. But in reality, very few decisions are as complex as we make them. Most of the time, the decision is simple. It's just that we get lost in the noise. To stop overthinking, you need to break the decision down into its simplest form. Ask yourself, what is the core of this decision? What am I really deciding? What are the most important factors? When you strip away the unnecessary details, you'll find that the answer is often much clearer than you thought. Another critical part of stopping overthinking is learning to trust yourself. Self-doubt is one of the primary drivers of overthinking. You question your judgment, second-guess your choices, and fear making the wrong decision. But you need to realize that you already have the knowledge and experience necessary to make great decisions. Trust that your intuition and your instincts are more reliable than you give them credit for. If you have a gut feeling, trust it. If something feels right, go for it. If something feels wrong, walk away. Stop overcomplicating the process by doubting yourself at every turn. When you trust yourself, you'll find that you make decisions faster and more confidently, and the need for endless analysis will vanish. In addition to trusting yourself, you must also embrace the reality that no decision is perfect. Perfectionism is a dangerous breeding ground for overthinking. People are afraid of making mistakes, of failing, of choosing the wrong option. But here's the truth: mistakes are inevitable, and failure is a part of success. The more decisions you make, the more you learn, and the faster you grow. There is no such thing as a perfect decision, and there is no such thing as a mistake that can't be learned from. The key is not to make perfect choices, but to make choices and learn from them. The more you make decisions, the more you'll develop a better sense of judgment, and the quicker you'll move towards success. Once you've simplified your decision-making process and learned to trust yourself, the next step is to take immediate action. Action is the antidote to overthinking. The moment you take action, you break free from the cycle of indecision and doubt. You create momentum. And momentum is the enemy of overthinking. It's easy to get stuck in your head when you're not moving. But once you start moving, things start to fall into place. The more you act, the more clarity you gain. And the more clarity you gain, the easier it becomes to make the next decision. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for all the information to be in place. Don't wait for the fear to go away. Start now. Even if the decision isn't perfect, even if you don't have all the answers, take that first step. The moment you act, you create a ripple effect that will keep you moving forward. You'll build confidence, reduce anxiety, and increase your ability to make quick decisions. And the more you take action, the easier it will be to stop overthinking and trust yourself to make decisions on the fly. One of the most powerful tools for eliminating overthinking is developing a decision-making routine. The more you practice making decisions, the better you'll get at it. Just like any skill, decision-making requires repetition. The more decisions you make, the faster and more confidently you'll make the next one. So start small. Practice making decisions quickly, even in trivial situations. Decide what to eat for lunch without deliberating for an hour. Choose a direction when driving without pulling over to analyze your options. In time, you'll develop the mental muscle to make bigger decisions more easily. You'll train yourself to avoid getting stuck in your head and start trusting your ability to make good decisions without overthinking. You must also accept that overthinking is a habit, and like any habit, it can be broken with consistent effort. The more you make decisions quickly, the less you'll be inclined to overthink. But as with all habits, you must be intentional about the process. Set small goals for yourself to make decisions faster and more confidently. Each time you make a decision without overthinking, you reinforce the habit of action and decisiveness. Another critical element of overcoming overthinking is learning to manage your environment. Your environment plays a significant role in how you think and make decisions. If you're constantly surrounded by distractions, noise, or conflicting opinions, it becomes much harder to think clearly and make quick decisions. Set up an environment that supports decisive action. Clear away distractions, eliminate sources of stress, and create a space where you can think and act without interference. Overthinking is a waste of energy, and energy is the one thing you cannot afford to waste. Every moment you spend stuck in your head is a moment you could have used to make progress, learn, and grow. The key is to train your mind to trust yourself, simplify the decision-making process, and take action without hesitation. The more you practice this, the faster you'll become at making decisions. And as you build this muscle, you'll move closer to your goals, step by step, without the weight of doubt or hesitation holding you back. Stop wasting time thinking about what might happen. Start focusing on what you can do now. The decision is yours to make, so make it. Number 9. Use every challenge to sharpen your thinking and focus. Challenges are the hidden gifts of life. They come in all shapes and sizes, from the smallest inconveniences to the most profound obstacles. But no matter how they present themselves, one thing is certain: they are powerful tools for sharpening your thinking and focus. Life is filled with challenges, and how you choose to respond to them determines not just the outcome, but the very quality of your thoughts and the direction of your life. Think of a challenge as an opportunity, not as a setback. Each challenge that arises is a test of your mental toughness, an invitation to stretch your limits and see just how much you can grow. The path of least resistance might seem tempting, but it's the challenges, the obstacles, and the moments that push you beyond your comfort zone that build the most character and refine your focus. When you encounter a challenge, don't shy away from it. Embrace it. Take it head on. Understand that these moments have the power to sharpen your mind in ways that smooth, easy paths simply cannot. The process of facing challenges strengthens your ability to think clearly under pressure. When everything is going smoothly, it's easy to feel relaxed and in control. But it's when things get difficult, when the pressure mounts and the stakes are high, that your true mental resilience is tested. In those moments, you either rise to the occasion or let stress and frustration dictate your actions. Every time you choose to stay calm, think critically, and focus, you're training your mind to become stronger, more agile, and better equipped to deal with future challenges. This mental sharpening doesn't happen automatically. It's a result of consistent practice. The more challenges you face and overcome, the sharper your mind becomes. Just like a muscle, your brain needs to be exercised regularly in order to become stronger. You can't expect to handle intense pressure or tough situations with ease if you haven't intentionally put yourself in situations that challenge you. It's the struggle that builds the mental fortitude necessary to remain focused and clear-headed when life's difficulties arise. What many people fail to realize is that challenges are not just obstacles, they are learning experiences. When you face a challenge, it forces you to think in new ways, to problem solve, and to come up with creative solutions. In that moment, you are forced to engage with the situation, to confront it head on, and to find a way through it. The lessons learned in those moments of struggle are often far more valuable than the knowledge gained from easy success. When things are hard, your mind is forced to work at a higher level, to be more resourceful, more innovative, and more focused. One of the most important aspects of using challenges to sharpen your thinking is shifting your mindset. Instead of viewing challenges as something to avoid, start seeing them as opportunities to improve. The more you welcome challenges with open arms, the more you train your brain to find solutions. The more you approach each obstacle with curiosity and determination, the more focused you become. The mind is naturally wired to find patterns and connections, And when faced with a challenge, it's doing exactly that, looking for ways to navigate the situation, break down the problem, and find the best possible solution. But there's another crucial piece to this puzzle: emotional control. Challenges often bring about strong emotions, whether it's frustration, fear, anger, or stress. If you let those emotions take control, they'll cloud your judgment and scatter your focus. That's why it's essential to train your mind to remain calm and composed in the face of adversity. When your emotions are in control, you can think more clearly, analyze situations more objectively, and make better decisions. You're not reacting impulsively to stress or panic. You're responding thoughtfully, with a clear head and a focused mind. Developing this level of emotional control takes practice, but it's worth every ounce of effort. Start by practicing mindfulness. Whenever a challenge arises, take a moment to breathe and center yourself before diving in. Don't let your initial emotional reaction dictate your next steps. Take control of the moment, step back, and approach the challenge with a calm, focused mindset. The more you practice this, the more second nature it will become. Soon you'll find that no matter how difficult the challenge, you're able to maintain your mental clarity and keep your emotions in check. Another way challenges sharpen your focus is by forcing you to prioritize. When everything feels like an urgent task, it's easy to get overwhelmed. But challenges force you to zero in on what truly matters, to figure out what's essential and what can be left aside. In times of stress or difficulty, your brain is naturally inclined to filter out distractions and focus on the most important elements. This is where the real growth happens. By focusing on the key components of the challenge, you not only solve the problem at hand, but also improve your ability to focus on what matters most in every aspect of your life. Through every challenge, there is an opportunity to recalibrate your priorities, realign your goals, and sharpen your focus. If you treat challenges as a chance to reevaluate your approach to life, you'll find that they offer profound lessons in clarity and concentration. Each challenge teaches you something new about what's important and what isn't. It teaches you how to cut through the noise and stay laser-focused on your mission. In doing so, you develop an unwavering focus that allows you to power through any obstacle with precision and confidence. But perhaps one of the most valuable things you can gain from challenges is the sense of resilience they build in you. Every challenge you face, every struggle you overcome, is another layer of strength added to your mental foundation. When you face difficult times and emerge stronger on the other side, you start to realize that you are capable of far more than you once believed. This resilience, this unshakable belief in your ability to overcome anything, becomes a guiding force in your life. Resilience is built by consistently facing challenges head-on, pushing through adversity, and coming out on the other side. It's the realization that no matter how difficult life gets, you have the tools and the strength to keep moving forward. Each time you confront a challenge and stay focused, you reinforce this mental toughness. You begin to see challenges not as roadblocks, but as stepping stones that help you grow and evolve. And the more resilient you become, the more adept you are at handling life's curveballs with grace and ease. Challenges also help you develop critical thinking skills. When everything is going well, it's easy to go on autopilot and let your mind coast. But when faced with adversity, you are forced to engage with the problem at a deeper level. You must analyze, adapt, and innovate. This is where your critical thinking muscles are truly developed. You're not just solving problems, you're learning how to think through problems in a systematic, logical way. This heightened sense of critical thinking will serve you in every area of life, from your career to your relationships to your personal growth. The more challenges you face, the sharper your thinking becomes. In the end, life will always present challenges. It's not about avoiding them. It's about using them to become better, sharper, and more focused. Each challenge is a gift, an opportunity to improve your thinking, develop resilience, and strengthen your ability to focus. Embrace each challenge as it comes, and use it to sharpen your mind. When you do, you'll find that no obstacle is too great, no difficulty too overwhelming. Your thinking will be clear, your focus unwavering, and your resilience unbreakable. And with that mindset, there's nothing that can stop you. Number 10, think ahead and make choices that build your future. The choices you make today are the foundation for your future. Every decision, no matter how small it may seem in the moment, has the potential to shape your tomorrow. It's easy to get caught up in the immediate desires of the present. But the truly successful people are those who think ahead, who recognize that the decisions they make today are investments into the life they want to create for themselves. What sets successful people apart is their ability to think beyond the immediate gratification of the moment. They don't just act based on impulse or emotion. Instead, they take time to evaluate their options, consider the long-term consequences, and make decisions that are in alignment with their ultimate goals. This mindset is a powerful tool that enables them to build the future they desire. Every time you make a decision, you are either building your future or undermining it. That's how powerful your choices are. To think ahead, you need a vision. Without a vision of where you want to go, it's easy to make decisions that are reactive. Decisions based on what feels good right now rather than what will serve you in the long run. But when you have a clear vision of your goals, your values, and your ultimate desires, you start making decisions that are aligned with that vision. You begin to understand that every step you take is a part of a much larger journey. It's about realizing that today's actions are tomorrow's results, and you have the power to choose what those results will be. The act of thinking ahead requires intentionality. It's not about waiting for opportunities to come to you. It's about creating those opportunities through the choices you make. This is why successful individuals don't wait for things to happen. They plan for the future, they visualize it, and they take deliberate actions to bring that vision into reality. They see their future not as a distant concept, but as something that is actively being created in the present moment through the choices they make each day. Your mind is one of your greatest assets. The way you think determines the life you live. If you are constantly focused on immediate pleasures, you'll find yourself distracted from your long-term goals. It's easy to get sidetracked by short-term rewards, but those fleeting moments of satisfaction don't build a future. True fulfillment comes from building a life that aligns with your deeper values and long-term aspirations. This means making tough decisions, sometimes sacrificing short-term pleasures for long-term gain. One of the most important aspects of thinking ahead is understanding the power of delayed gratification. Delayed gratification is the ability to resist the temptation of an immediate reward in favor of a more valuable reward in the future. It's about understanding that while the road to success may be long and challenging, the rewards at the end are far greater than the quick fixes you might seek today. It's about making the right choices, even when they require patience and discipline, because you know that the payoff will be worth it in the end. When you think ahead, you're essentially planting seeds for your future. Every choice is a seed, and it's up to you to decide what kind of life you want to cultivate. If you plant seeds of discipline, focus, and hard work, you'll eventually reap the rewards of those efforts. But if you plant seeds of procrastination, complacency, and doubt, you'll find yourself stuck in a cycle that keeps you from reaching your full potential. It's important to remember that the quality of your future life will be determined by the choices you make today. The more intentional you are with your decisions, the more you align them with your long-term goals, the more powerful your future will become. A key part of thinking ahead is being able to visualize your future. Visualization is a powerful tool that successful people use to bring their goals to life. When you can see your future in your mind's eye, you begin to make decisions that move you closer to that vision. This is why it's so important to set clear, specific goals. When you know exactly what you want, you can start making decisions that move you toward that goal, whether it's in your career, health, relationships, or finances. Having a clear vision of where you want to be allows you to choose actions that will take you there. The power of visualization lies in its ability to connect your present actions with your future success. Every time you visualize your future self, you remind yourself of why you're making the decisions you're making today. You connect the dots between today's actions and tomorrow's results. It's like laying out a map of your life, and every decision you make is a step along that path. Thinking ahead isn't just about thinking of the end goal. It's about recognizing that every decision, no matter how small, is moving you closer to that goal. Thinking ahead also requires you to be mindful of the present moment. While it's important to think about the future, it's equally important to make the most of the present. It's easy to get caught up in planning for tomorrow, next year, or even the next decade. But if you're not focused on today, you won't be able to build the future you want. Every decision you make in the present has the power to shape your future. By being mindful of how you spend your time, your energy, and your resources today, you ensure that you're making choices that are aligned with your vision for the future. Success doesn't happen by accident. It's the result of a series of intentional decisions that build upon each other over time. Each choice you make is like a brick in the foundation of your future. When you take the time to think ahead, to make decisions that are in line with your long-term goals, you are laying the groundwork for a life that is meaningful and fulfilling. The beauty of thinking ahead is that it allows you to take control of your destiny. Instead of waiting for life to happen to you, you become the architect of your own future. It's also important to recognize that thinking ahead isn't just about making decisions that benefit you in the long term. It's also about being mindful of how your decisions affect others. The choices you make today can have a profound impact on the people around you. When you make decisions that are in alignment with your values, you not only build a better future for yourself, but you also contribute to the well-being of those you care about. Whether it's in your family, your community, or your workplace, your decisions have the power to inspire others and create a ripple effect of positive change. At the heart of thinking ahead is the understanding that your future is a reflection of your choices today. You have the power to shape your destiny, to create the life you want, but it all starts with the decisions you make now. Each day is an opportunity to build your future, to make choices that will serve you in the long run. If you want to live a life that's fulfilling, meaningful, and aligned with your deepest desires, you must take full responsibility for the choices you make. Thinking ahead isn't always easy. It requires discipline, focus, and a deep understanding of what you truly want. But when you make decisions that align with your vision for the future, you'll find that life becomes clearer, more purposeful, and more rewarding. By thinking ahead, you set yourself up for success, and you create the foundation for a life that is truly extraordinary. Every choice you make is an opportunity to shape your future, so make those choices wisely. Your future self will thank you for it.